Hi, Adam here. Thought I'd come back and do a new studio tour video. The last one I posted was about a year and a half ago. There's been a few changes, so I can just show you a few updates, a little quicker version than last time. That video is still up if you still want to watch it. And also at the end I have some exciting news to share about the studio and the band. So stay tuned till the end and enjoy. Okay, so we'll start on the keyboard wall like I did last time. I'll start at the top. This hasn't changed. Still got the Roland VP 550, the Roland JD 800. A fun change to it is that it now has the red glue problem, which just popped up. You can kind of see some dripping. It showed up when I noticed these two keys stuck together. So that's a project for me this year. And then I've got the Argon 8X over here. The Waldorf KB37. I have changed up the modules in it quite a bit. Awesome addition is the Deckard's Voice and Rachel from Black Corporation. Those sound amazing. I believe this side stayed the same. I got the Little Fatty Stage 2, though I do have the awesome wood sides on it. I did a video about that last year. Then the Korg Garp Odyssey, the Moog Grandmother, and the Korg MS-20M. And then a big difference here is that I use these laptop stands to kind of make more space. So it works really well, by the way. Analog Solutions Impulse Command, Korg Monologue, the Dreadbox Erebus 3, and Hypnosis. And here's the case I built in the last few months. This is the case that holds all my Roland Euro rack stuff. I also did a video all about this. Love this case, looks super cool, works great. I got the IK Multimedia Uno synth and Uno drum there. The Moog stuff, Subharmonicon, Mother 32 DFAM, and I do have the 4-tier rack now, so I have the fourth case with all the extra stuff in it as part of it now. Alright, down to the floor where the pedals are. The bass pedal board mostly stayed the same. I now have a JHS Pedals Color Box version 2 on it, but it works great for almost anything. Dreadbox Epsilon Special Edition, I think, or Limited Edition. Dreadbox Lethargy, Dreadbox what's it called? Kinematic. The Plasma Coil by Game Changer Audio. The Moog CP251 Control Voltage Processor. The Moog MF104M. The delay. And then the Dreadbox Darkness and the Dreadbox Komorebi or Komorebi, I'm not sure how you say it. TC Electronic June 60, Electronic Analog Drive, Electro Harmonics, got the crash pad and the Super Space Drum, and the 8-step program. Another addition, just sitting on the shelf down here, I've got an iConnectivity Mio XL MIDI interface down here, and another power supply, and also the PreSonus AVB switch called the SW5E. I'll talk more about why I have all that here in a second. And down here on the floor, which isn't plugged into anything at the moment, is the PreSonus NSB 16.8 stage box, which I'll also talk about in a moment. Alright, back up here we have the Euro rack still here. It is shorter because I got rid of that little skinny rack I had in the middle with the Roland stuff because it's all over there now. And somehow it's still all full. I have no idea. Keep adding stuff, I guess. And then this is a newer addition. I have the Auto Electronics, the Bim Bam and Bomb. They sound awesome. It's a delay, a reverb, and a compressor distortion module. Right now they're just all chained together. I intend in the future to add them to the patch bay so it's easier to patch into everything. And there's a large edition physically also. I got a new mixer. It's the PreSonus Studio Live 32SX. I just wanted more inputs mostly, and I like having an actual mixer for this kind of stuff. So like This allows me to plug, I think, all the synths into the computer simultaneously. And also, if I want to jam without the computer or just lay down some ideas, I can do that without the computer on and have access to all the inputs. Faders move. Cool. Yeah, so it has lots of features. So that stage box I showed you connects to that as inputs. I'll go over that in a minute. So then back here to the big rack. Still have all the Moger Fogers and hook through the patch bay. Another new addition is the Modal Electronics Cobalt 8M. Very simple, goes along with the Argon 8, but this one is more of an analog modeling, whereas the Argon 8 is a wavetable synthesizer. This sounds really, really good. Over here we've got the Oddity 2000 old rack module, the BeatStep Pro power supply, Mio 10 interface, the old MX8 Midi patch bay processor, the Moog Minotaur, Siren, two little fatties, Korg Triton rack, Roland XV5080. Next rack bay I have another power supply, the TC Electronic Finalizer Express. Another change is I have 3 of these racks for the 500 series now. I think the last video only had 2. I'll go over quickly. This one stayed the same. It's got the Black Lion Audio Artura Mark II, 2 DBX de-essers and 2 DBX compressor limiters, and the Mag EQ4. Here's the AMS Neve RMX16 reverb, the Moog, the ladder, and analog delay. I recently got this radial reamp box that it's for hook and pedals, and so it puts everything at the right impedance and everything. You can blend in the dry wet. It's really cool. And the Little Labs VOG analog bass resonance tool, it's called. It's kind of a processor you put on bass or vocals. Does stuff. It sounds really good. And this rack still got the Expressor 500 compressor. I've also now got the SSL EV-EQ stereo EQ. Both of those sound amazing. I usually leave them chained together and throw on the master. Patch bays. There's the master clock, the Black Lion Audio master clock, and the PreSonus Thunderbolt interface, the Quantum 4848, and then the last of the old rack modules, the EMU Proteus 2000. And now we're at the desk. So same computer, still got the Squark Pyramid. Underneath it, yet another MIDI interface, the iConnectivity Neo XM. And here in a second, I'll tell you why I have all these MIDI interfaces. Stream Deck, hard drives, and then I got the sequential Prophet Rev 2 on the desk now. And same studio monitors. And then over here, I have to get out of the way of my light and camera, but I've got the Arturia Matrix Brute. It's sitting over here on its own stand. I thought maybe I wouldn't use it as much over here, but actually I really like it over here because you can just kind of sit down with headphones and design sounds. It works out really well. And then I don't have a keyboard stand next to me now, so I have a little more floor space. So I've got this little table with my Roland VR1 HD video mixer and interface and various doodads. I love this thing, the Critter and Guitari. I forgot what it's called. This is the video box. That's a video synthesizer. Really, really cool. My Zoom recorder, which I'm using, and various whatnots on the little table. Okay, so that was a super fast overview of the studio. If you want a little more detail of the old video, I kind of talk about each synth and stuff a little bit more than this time. A lot of cool additions in the last couple of years. I think probably some of my favorites are the Matrix Brute and the Cobalt 8 from Modal Electronics. I use both of those a ton, all the time. So anyway, I said there's cool news at the end. So the cool news is that we're building an addition onto the house. And that's where the studio is going to be. Yay! So we're building a 20 by 20 room. That's feet. And there will be a closet, so it'll be a little L-shaped. So I have a big, huge chunk of it that's going to be for the studio. So everything's going to be moving into there. And there's already been lots of planning. They haven't broke ground yet, so we're just kind of planning and getting ready for it. And so I'll plan on documenting the entire procedure and make videos about it, because I know everyone really likes that kind of stuff. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to have a ton more space, going to be able to spread out. So now I said I would talk about the MIDI stuff and the audio stuff a bit. The MIDI stuff, I added the Mio XL this past year and a half or so. Basically that side of the room has its own MIDI and this side has its own MIDI, and I'm using RTP MIDI overall networking stuff to get it all to and from the computer. And it works really well. I know it's a bit confusing to set up. One of these days I'll go over it on a video, but so that's going to continue in the new room. And then I also have the Mio XM over here, which will be on the desk of the new room. So I'm probably going to have a new desk. This one will be used probably for the modular, and I'm going to build a desk with some rack spaces on it, and have the 500 series on the desk. And so each wall of the studio, there'll be a wall on the left and right, and the desk will all have its own MIDI interface. It'll all be hooked up over RPT MIDI and RTP MIDI, sorry. And that way everything can be connected to the computer and each other at any given time. And then as far as audio goes, I've got this NSB stage box from PreSonus. The mixer will be on one side of me, one or the other, and then the other side will have the stage box. So that way one side's instruments can be hooked to the mixer on the other side by just using a network cable. It'll save lots of cabling, lots of mess, and that sort of thing. And then it'll all go to the computer, which will be on the desk in the middle. So that's kind of the plan as far as audio and MIDI goes, and I'll share more details as they come up. Thanks for watching, and enjoy, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.